But let me put on my man snatchers. Because it's a part of the look. Okay, so today you guys are gonna get the look. Because I'm stepping out, so I'm gonna need y'all to get the look. You see the little shades with the rims, and like with the it matches with the shirt, and matches my girl right here. So it's the look.
Again, Jesus. I love the shirt. Let me see. Back up a little. Let me see, Miss. Is that A-I-Y-A-H?
Yes, I want you to rock the boat.
Okay. I hope her boy, not watching this. He won't be watching it.
Who her boy?
You know, little crazy man. R. Kelly. Okay, we're not talking about R. Kelly today.
Yes, let's see.
Well, welcome back, Miss Danny, Miss D3.
I wanted to make a grand entrance, everybody, because it's been so long, and I'm so sad that I didn't get a chance to be with you last time. But I wasn't feeling myself. I wasn't feeling okay. I was out on commission per my doctor for the 3 days, and it turned into the last time we were supposed to shoot. But I just want to give a shout out to Natasha White. She was amazing. I saw the interview. It was so great.
A lot of feedback on Miss Natasha, girl.
Yes, absolutely. Like, a lot of people have been commenting and everything. I truly appreciate her energy, her charisma, like her information. Like, she was just so abundant. She was a bundle of joy. And then for the people that actually asked about me because they heard that I was sick on my last podcast, shout out to you guys. That touched my heart. Somebody cares about me.
Especially Evie, because she texted me like, hey, what happened to so-and-so? She wasn't here last time and this time. Is she okay?
Yes. Oh, I truly appreciate it. You guys, that touched my heart. Thank you so much. But I am back. Okay. And I'm back. See, I gave y'all my grand entrance. This is specifically for you guys.
Okay, merci avec Shedouan. We need to see your eyes. We need to see. That was the look.
That was the look. Sometimes it's, I understand sometimes you gotta let it flow. But today I was like, you know what? Let me give a little Haitian roots, because I need to go back to my roots real quick.
I wish I could braid my hair like that. Okay, like this girl is just talented and amazing all the way around. Like, how? I'm sure some people are saying. But anyways, at least we have her on Cheryl. She's on our side. We got our own allies. And so without further ado, again, welcome back. She's feeling well and better and probably won't be disappearing again. So don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Send some love. So welcome to another episode of Eye to Eye, where you know what we do. We sit here and talk about what's going on within the Haitian community, have a conversation all around of what's happening in the world at the time, and just, sip our tea or water and just go for it. So today, we will be talking about what's happening right now with the Ukrainian war. But before we jump on that conversation, we want you to like, subscribe, comment, and of course, oui. No,
first of all, listen, it's dazzling for me because I had to be like, who's the Naboo? Because hair's all fleek. She looking gorgeous. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Yes, this is different. She had the nerves to ask me if it was because of a new man. And I'm like, ladies, we hook ourselves up for ourselves. Okay.
Well, I mean, I agree, but she looks extra. It's like, it's a little, it's dazzle. It's like a razzle dazzling. That's what she is.
I like it, razzle dazzle.
So,
okay. So anyways, I am going to, thank you for that, my love. I'm going to have a conversation with D3. We want to give a shout out to D2 behind the scene. What up, CEO of Sale, Papa Doc? all of it. We are going to have a conversation on Mr. Putin. I don't know much about him. I don't know anything about Ukrainian. Did I know there was a country such as that until the war? Did you know?
I want to fight him.
I don't know. I know there's over 300.
I'm not even gonna hold you. When the whole situation happened, I had to literally be like, what's Ukraine? Like, of course we know Russia, but I'm like, Ukraine, where is Ukraine? And that, that shows how much, I really pay attention to geography and everything like that. So I was like, Lord, help me, Jesus. What? Okay. So when I was able to research it, I was like, wait, hold up, pause. Them people are neighbors. Like, literally, like, is he serious? Like, is he nuts? But then when I got like the shortened hood version of the story, because the longer version was too long, the shorter hood version of the story, I was like,
Tell us, what's that hood version?
So basically, the hood version of the story was that, so Russia and Ukraine are like a couple, and they were together for a long time before. So Russia was that toxic ex that Ukraine wanted to leave. So Ukraine, went by itself, got self-love, self-care. Ukraine is like, prospering on. So Ukraine is that woman that left and is prospering on her own, got her own, is making her own money and everything like that. Now that the toxic ex-Russia sees Ukraine yes, the woman just like doing really good for herself. Now, the toxic ex want her back. And then it's at all costs. He starts stalking her. He starts showing up at her house.
I can't with all her people.
Wow. Being at her car. And like he starts doing all these things like and everything like that because the toxic ex wants the prospering ex back. And that was the hood version.
Somebody got some ice in. E gason a iti ap pale. Ou ka wè lè on fòm giton gason a iti. Mè son mi kounya fòm nan bien menen, bien passe.
Oh my God. Shit. Yo, listen. Shit. If they could do that thing with the radio at your window in the pouring rain, they would do it.
I don't know what's that thing in the radio with the pouring rain.
Like when they stand with the radio playing, baby, come back. And then they have the rain pouring.
Any kind of fool would see.
So that was the hood version that I was told, and I was able to like really grasp the story. Like, oh, okay. So I know that Ukraine's been independent for a very long time, and then now Russia just like really wants it back, and at the expense of Putin. Because I can't say it's the whole Russia, because there's Russians out there that's just like.
Russia, we didn't even know. Russia is massive.
It's big,
gigantic. So, I mean, I thought Russia would have been the number one ruler of the world, but according to, President Zelensky, he claims that the US is the leading power. So I guess they are. But the version that I know, or how I'm understanding what's happening out there, we're talking about the Ukrainian story to come back to our Haitian people. But the whole thing started with NATO. So supposedly Russia, Ukraine, and all of its surrounding countries, they were in this thing called Warsaw, right? They had a pact. So that broke down with the condition that si nous quitte Ukraine ale, if we let the Ukrainians go, you guys are not allowed to go be with NATO. So supposedly whatever Russia was as the Warsaw Pact or whatever the Warsaw Pact was, is technically what NATO is now becoming. So NATO a marché petit, pou y a pour paquet pays, pou yo gen ally payo.
Ally payo.
So now Putin is like, well, supposedly the US came to the Ukrainian and be like, yo, pou ki so pa entre nan NATO, man? Entre nan NATO, bal ha bon pou, we'll hook you up, we'll support you, we'll da. So the Ukrainian is like, oh, ça son bon deal, vrai? Eh ben, bon, fi l'application, maintenant. So Russia heard that the Ukrainians are trying to apply to become part of NATO. They're like, qui ça? Non, de la kay mon wè men États-Unis? Eh ben, moi-même, eh ben, je dis. So they'll give them the little warning, like, y'all better not even think about joining NATO because I don't want these US people on my border. Like, literally, they will be on my backyard and I don't need them to see what's happening, what's going on. Mind your business. Stay over there. Kounya la, years happen, bagay la commence à bien entrer. Pou te di, m'fout pale nou, m'pale douye de nou. Si nou pense m'pale entrer nan NATO, mwen map tout pisi nou.
I've never seen her curse. This is crazy.
But the US is like, don't worry about it, Ukrainian, we got you, we got you. Pa ou ki te pouten se van la bay, di pa ka man konen se god puissance nou ye. Kounya pouten di, na pranse avèk mwen. Na pranse mwen imbécile la.
Non, mais quoi, maman, mais quoi, papa, vin pile. Et ça, you could get. I mean,
exactly. Well, basically, Kounya, you can go, no, I got the big boys behind me. Yeah, we want to sign this. We're going to do this. We're an independent country. You can't tell us what to do no more. We are our own people. So, Kounya, monsieur, comment ça vous aider trois coups de poing? Poutine a vous aider trois coups de poing pour faire monsieur au calme. Kounya, mais Ukraine, quand tu ça, oh, États-Unis, mais ballon de trois coups de poing. Vine de nou, États-Unis, moi-même, nous pas rentrer dans la voie de trois moun bon pour pour garder vous. So now it's like, because they can't join, they can't help.
They can't because unfortunately, what's at stake if they join, it's humanity. Like basically, humanity is no problem. Because what's at
World War III will start.
World War III will start, and look at.
But I'm looking at it.
You got them get come bush tablet.
Geoffrey non pa ka prend chapelet.
Non, ça moi c'est pas vrai ka vrai. Moi même c'est mon même garder me fun me courir. Beaucoup de la pour me donner World War III Jésus bon et pas même ça non et nuclear war là me dit Jésus l'éternel battre me because even with the whole nuclear war thing I was looking at what they call it, like an infographic show. And it literally showed that if we were in if we really got in World War III, like the events that would happen, it would take us, is it 10 years or it would take us between 10 and 20 years for us to recover from if we are World War and recover and not just like recover constructions, like because nuclear weapons are very powerful. So not just like most of our humanity will wipe out because of World War III. Like especially if it goes to nuclear war. I'm like, Jesus, I understand the word. It says that we're gonna hear rumors of wars and because I don't.
We're not ready. We're not ready. But don't worry, I don't think a World War III is gonna break out because
they were smart about it.
Very strategic about it. As a matter of fact, yo connaît yo pa ka entrer dans goumen, mais ap support the Ukrainian in every way that they can. They've been sending like billions of dollars,
weapons.
Exactly. And parce que kounya gen guerre, moun ap pété kouri. Moun yo besoin quitter pays. Kounya ou tout l'autre petit pays ap di, "Oh, vini nou na pede nou. Come this way, we can help you guys out because we understand what's going on. It's a crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis. You guys got to run for your lives. Save yourself." Places are getting, some of those people are getting into places that's giving them like free visas. Because you know why?
Right. They were, go ahead.
Some of the media coverages are like putting Ukrainian on the map. Like they have this high status. They're the kind of people who are clean, presentable, intelligent. Like it's very unfortunate that something like that happened to them. And so we are here to help another human being. Meanwhile, you had the Syrians who had issues, Libya who had issues, Africans who had issues, Haitian who had issues. None of these places had spaces for them. What's wrong with that picture? It was still the same thing, humanitarian crisis. I need help. I have political issues going on. Can I stay here for a while until that stuff cools down? Open doors for the Ukrainians.
Yes.
And by the way, when we say brown, we'll be thinking us. No, the brown people are like the Syrians, the Arabs. because they were calling them the brown people. They don't want the brown people with their people because they feel like, oh, they won't know how to integrate. They don't know us. We don't know if they're terrorists, so we don't want them in.
Jesus.
Let's bring it to our backyard in the US. Last September, you know, we had the assassination of President Jovenel.
Yes.
The country was in an uproar. The people didn't know what was going to happen. So everybody was fleeing, leaving Haiti. And then you had Haitians from everywhere, like just some of the stories, if you hear how many countries they crawled through to get out. Haiti, Brazil, Chile, just to come back around.
Just to come back around.
And then I know you've seen some of the videos with the treatments, people getting whipped.
Yes.
Go back home. And then the Biden administration was deporting them by the thousands. Oh, hell no.
By the thousands.
You got to go back home and figure this out.
But, and what was
the Ukrainians got issues. Oh, Vini, welcome. Vini, mes amis, fè nou aider nous parce que faut démontrer Poutine. Ou comprenez moi, li pa ka fè ça, pa ba Poutine sanction, n'a fermé banque, n'a prend tout oligarques, n'a prend toute affaire. Nous pas quitter au voyager dans pays nous. Nous pas quitter au faire XYZ. Because that's how mad they are what Putin is doing to those people. The Ukrainians. They got all these other people globally come together to block Putin out, to block Russia out. You have McDonald's over there, they closed out. Starbucks over there, they closed out. All these other countries that are exporting, they're like, oh, we have to make them pay for what they're doing.
We have to make them pay for what they're doing, yes.
Wow.
And that based on like literally what you said, and you said they definitely were the what is it? They were doing a lot to the Haitian people when the Haitian people got to the border. If I looked at the stats based on my sources, so our beloved president said that America will welcome 100,000 Ukrainian refugees.
Wow.
100,000 versus back in September when everything happened. So between then and now, over 30,000 Haitian have been deported since our beloved president has been inaugurated. So, which means that I think they kind of like took place out, like they made place for the Ukrainians by kicking a lot of the Haitians out. And it's like, don't get me wrong, like I understand both situations. Like I truly do. Like, especially since like I looked at the Ukraine stuff and I was mad. Like I was sitting at the sitting there watching the news. I was upset. I was pissed off. I'm like, yo, how could you be like this dumb? Like these people are really like, they're not bothering you, they're not doing anything, but I understand it's a power call. So because of a power call, a bunch of these citizens, a bunch of these people, like their places where they've lived their whole lives had to be like in shambles because of a power call. Because that man is not thinking straight. But then you also have the Haitians that actually was just like dealing, because I think around those times, like there was mad fights, uncertainty, like it was mad things that were happening in the countries that they were for them to, run and seek asylum in the United States. But then when you get there, you take it back to slavery times and start bringing out whips. But our beloved president went to the border itself to welcome these Ukrainians. And I'm just like, is it a black, brown versus white people thing? Is it that white people will always stick together versus us black, we kind of like, we kind of try to...
You took the question right out my mouth, girl. Because at the end of the day, it's like, what am I going to be mad for? They're supporting their kind. They're looking out for their kind. They're helping their kind. So why do we put it like it's their responsibility to hook us up when we got our issues? Mm-hmm. That's, I mean, technically you're not gonna do business moon, so maybe that's why. But on the overall picture, it's like, why can't we help ourselves?
That's true. When I was thinking about our topic, and I was thinking about how, like, what's the bigger picture here, and I'm like, is it other people's responsibility to help us? Is it other people's response? Like, is it like, why is it that whenever we're going through something, whenever like an assassination happened, whenever like, we're going through all of these things that's going on with kidnappings and everything like that, why can't we stand together as our own people? Or matter of fact, even if we have like other, I don't even think, do we even have allies? That's the crazy part. That's because it feels like even when we're in trouble
now. Who's our ally? Do we have allies? Like, how can we?
No, seriously, because like when we're in trouble, we have to figure it out on our own, and we don't necessarily choose the best way. And I wonder if that's the reason why our allies try to, if we had any, try to stay away from us, because just to go off, well, not really off subject, but to tie something in, because there was something that happened in Lekai, where angry protesters invaded the airport. They dragged out a small plane belonging to missionaries and set it on fire. Now, after a bunch of things that I heard, after reading up on a bunch of things that certain missionary groups have been doing in Haiti that are, that are just wrong, I was kind of like a little bit like biased about the situation, because I'm like, okay, there's probably a reason why they act like this, but you guys we're always protesting, like going into like a airport and everything, and then imagine what that's going to do to tourism, because a lot of people, they'll go to OCAP and they'll go to like those, they'll go to that airport, because that's kind of like the safer side for them to go visit and everything like that. Now, if angry protesters are able to get into that airport, then what's gonna happen to tourism? So we keep hurting our own self, like we really do, with the actions that we do.
I did hear about that plane burning, and then they were trying to protest. And I think the president himself, Ariel Henry, Haiti's president, was condemning the act and saying, "Oh, like that." Like there will be punishments. And some of the people were saying, like, how are you going to get on our case for that? Meanwhile, you have gangs left and right just running the country.
Right. Like,
and they were actually protesting in around his house. I don't even think he's in the house, but they were marching. What I guess today will be the third day of the protest. And that's my thing. Haitian people can get together, right? Because apparently, if you've seen the videos, it's a lot of them just coming out there saying like, Ariel needs to go. And let Haitian live in a there, you're living in there. The people,
right.
The mass, the volume will speak, and a change might be made, I hope. But the whole thing is that's showing them that President Jovenel, how better is the country now? I made it look like he was
right. He was the problem, and he wasn't.
Voila. So they got that wake up call. They're seeing things for what it really is now, and now they want to make a change. So we want that same force,
energy,
to try to do things outside of Haiti. I do believe in teams, right? To stick together. Asian people stick together.
Yes, they do. They do.
Stick together.
Stick together. Spanish people stick together. Like seriously, I can't. No, but seriously, like if you look at other nations, and I think that's part of our problem. The fact that if you look at other nations, right? So you have like Spanish people, right? You have them in what is it? You have Spanish people, right? Whenever one goes through something, it's like everybody goes through something. Like they all stick together. You have white people. If one knows the information, they keep it in-house, and then they all grow together. And that's why you learn, like literally, I would sit at a table with a white person versus a black person. I will get more information from the white person than I will ever get from the black person. And the white person's information is going to make me some type of money. But then the black, even if they know something, they'll try to like hide it. And I feel like even that's just a tie with the Haitian, like.
Well, I must be white because I be telling everything.
And, well, in the sense of, yes, like you still have some people that still do that. But the thing about it is that, like, we don't help ourselves. We don't help each other. When it's time to, like, we talk about Lino Fela first, but sometimes we have to, like, literally understand as a Haitian community sometimes that we don't really look out for each other.
But like, how can we make it better? Parce que nous pensons nous tout à poser même question, but nous pas qu'à jouer une solution, because this has been for years. And I think, for going back to what you said, ou konen lò konen ou ka maltraite un moun ou fon moun esclave ou whatever, ou pa bjem ka gen respect pou moun sa. C'est moun sa ki pou vin demoutre ou kouni a ki pou fort respecter. Anybody all over, ou pa pou respecter yo. Ou pa respecter people of color. Last I checked, every color derived from black, but right? But technically, I don't know. I don't feel offended by that word, people of color.
I don't. I love my color. Like, if a person hate me for my color, that's your business. I love my color because, listen, baby, I could be in the sun now. I could be in the sun. Even if I get a 10, I'll still look like myself. Okay, so
if you guys love your color, drop a pound.
Drop a cup, right?
You know, so
like, seriously, I love my melanin. I love my melanin. I'm not even upset about it. I'm really not. Like, but the thing about it is that
I can't be. Why? I had no choice in the matter. Nobody asked me what color I wanted to be. I always say this. If they ever asked me, I would be purple. I would be purple. So we would be like a whole rainbow of colors going around, which technically is what we are, but nobody is looking at it like it's on an equal footing.
Yeah. Like, one thing is this, then is like, you know, one is higher than the other. And I'm just like, you know what, whatever floats your boat. But the thing about it is, when we really think about us and everything, I honestly am starting to believe that, you know what, nobody owes us anything. We are our own country. Nobody owes us anything. And the fact that every time we try to seek help from other places, that we keep getting stepped on and we keep getting disrespected, calls for a point where Haitian people have to hit it. Like, you know, our people have to be like, you know what? I'm tired of this. Like, let's get
We have to be really tired, and not just saying that we are tired. You know what I mean? Like, I guess we don't have the funding to do things. Because, for example, if this war, this Ukrainian and Russia war, is still bringing out racism, it's like we're all trying to run for our lives, right? We're all trying to run for our lives from the country for the same reason. But once we cross a border, it's like, oh no, Ukrainians only. Oh, like, I heard that, you know, some people were trying to ride the train to Poland and they would make all the black people get off. That's crazy.
Get off, right? Like, they're all running. They're all running. Like, it doesn't matter if you're white, purple, pink, blue. They all were running for you know, from this thing. So you mean to tell me that because of the lighter skin, that's much better? So we'll accept those people versus, like, the people of color, but they're all running from the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going that is the main ingredient in the whole thing. That means we're not there. We are a long way from uniting. A very long way from uniting. And I think the African Union called this out and said that this was technically an international law that they were breaking on humanitarians for not allowing them safe passage too. So, but the Polish, they pushed back. They were saying, like, oh no, we accepted other people too. We accepted other people too. I guess this time around they just couldn't. So it's a thing, and they're trying to, you know, come forth. But it's like, at the end of the day, when you have a commissioner tell a group of family, hey, you could come live in my house because you look like me and not the other kind, that says a lot. Like, we have trust issues. So I don't know if they feel like if we come, we're going to slow down their environment, because they make it out here in America. If a black person is in an area, the house values go down. if too many of them are in the area, you know? So it's like, wow. Nous c'est bien, no, we don't make a change about that. And I would love for Haiti to turn out to be one of the most powerful Caribbean island like they once were. We can get that.
I miss it. I miss it so bad. I miss it.
Stop being afraid, because we took our freedom, and I guess because we did that, you know, we're still gonna forever be paying for it, and other countries that are Black are gonna pay for it as well, simply because, hey, they belong to us, or we belong to them, or we interconnected somehow. And that's the whole reason for the mistreatment. And I'm like, even for the Ukrainian, where there was this 2 Black guys who were trying to flee, they would not let them flee. They said, oh, you can't go, but you could take a gun and fight for us. It's like, wait, I can't flee for my freedom, but I don't even know how to maneuver a gun, but you want me to stay and fight your war? I'm too Black to get out, but I'm Black enough to fight your war. This stuff is enraging, and I'm sitting here like, disrespectful. The disrespect doesn't stop.
Right.
And Haitians, I don't know when we're gonna like stand up for ourselves and be like, you know what? Moun yo pa vle wè nou, soute nou kay, moun nan pa vle wè nan kay la. O tap kite kay la. And find somebody that can support you. Like, why we keep find our own allies, our own, you know, because we're looking for the US for the support, but they're just supporting us so that they could have the control to always make sure we stay down.
Right. But then I also, when you dig a bit deeper into it, you have to look at also when these people think about, okay, let's say if anybody thought about being allies with Haiti, would they look at Haiti as an asset or a liability? And I think they, and let's be truthfully honest, we're a liability because of everything that we do to each other. So, and everything that's going on in the country and everything like that, we're looked at as a liability, like that nobody would want to take on because it's too much cost, too much reparation that you have to do, too much everything.
But they don't know that Haitians are one of the most hardest working groups.
Yeah, we are. That we truly are. Absolutely, we're very intelligent, and I commit. Like, I love the fact that I was born in Haiti because of, you know, our culture, because of who we are. Like, yo, take a scholar from New York, from here versus Haiti, it will be a difference because of like all the information that they have. But if someone versus retaining the information though, the Haitians will be able to retain the information much better because of how we get to learn. Exactly. We don't do no Googles. We don't do no Wikipedias. We do books. Like, literally, you have to go from books to books to books to books.
By memory.
They sit by memory, and it sticks. It sticks in your head.
I also, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to say this real quick. But they also don't know that Haitians would not be leaving it in the first place. No one leaves a country where they are comfortable in.
Right.
You leave because you're looking for security, stability. You're looking for, you know, a better life. That's why you're trying to leave it to go see what's on the other side. Si pe you te bon bien chita, bon vent, bon soleil, bon mango, bon coco.
Wait, got this. That's I already have nostalgia. I want to go back, but it was. Do you know how many times I was tempted to buy my ticket?
Girl, I'm on that same temptation. But we are about to run out of time. So I just want to say this. I don't know. I'll let you say the last word. But I want to say this to the Haitian people. Peuple haïtien, tendez. America peut démontrer nous over and over. Tant et tant encore que yo fait ça yo vle. Ak moun yo vle. Yo démontre nous que et pas aider ou pas ka aider. Non, c'est nous yo pas vle aider. C'est nous k'ap goumer pour entrer dans pays ici et puis tout coup nous entrer pour voyer nous tourner back coup wash coup chien. Yo fait ça yo vle ak moun yo vle. Li pour pas quitter nous rancer avec figi nous. We got to stand up for ourselves. We got to do what we need to do to support and go back to l'Union fait la force. Because if they ever see that, they know game's over. So they have to make sure you're Kembe division. Parce que si c'est peuple haïtien qui viennent ensemble, mon cher, yo kon s'en défait déjà. Parce qu'ils sont ensemble. Okay,
Yeah.
so listen, guys, I'm sorry that we are out of time, but we'll definitely catch up next time. That's all I had to say. You, Miss D3.
No, but see, after that, I'm gonna leave it at that. The reason I'm gonna leave it at that because I want that to sink in what Dash just said. Like, m'vle que nous comprenions ça tout le temps parce que yo li dégagez nous faire ça Dash. Okay?
That's it. We leave it here. Until next time, guys. Haitian yet?
Wait, it's a shop. I was on Bokamanda. But it was so great to spend the time with you guys today. So glad to be back, and we hope that you guys like the content for today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe again. Gade pou nou give a subscribe ya? Mwen ka vin pou telefon nou fè subscribe. Dede? Ok.
Wow.
But let's go ahead.
Guys.
Bye. Close out the month.
Oh, yeah.
See you guys in April.
Huh?
See you guys in April.
Bam.